Hey, welcome to Security Live from reInvent 2024. I am your co-host, Brian Mendenhall. I am the it's going to get longer, the worldwide head of security and identity partnership organization team.
Specialists,
awesomeness. Extraordinaires. And I am here with...
Not one of your favorite co-hosts?
Oh,
just average co-host?
I don't know. I didn't want to do this on camera, Ryan. I'm so sorry.
We're having a moment here, guys.
My favorite co-host, Ryan Orsi.
Ryan Orsi, hello everybody. Co-host of Security Live. I lead a team of partner specialists in security, identity, cloud operations. Great to be here with you all, and happy to introduce some of our special guests today. Rob and Brian. Rob from CrowdStrike, Brian from Mission Cloud. Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to Security Live.
Hey, great to be here. Great to be here. I'm Rob Solomon, Senior Cloud Solution Architect over at CrowdStrike. Been over at CrowdStrike for a couple of years, working very closely with our AWS counterparts. I work on the AWS partnership and a former AWS solution architect in the ISV space. So nice to be on the other side right now and leverage all those.
Before, that's
right. Now I'm sort of a cousin, let's just say.
Yeah. There you go. He still comes to Thanksgiving dinner with us.
Truly.
And Brian.
Hi, nice to meet you guys. My name is Brian Riesgraf. I'm a solution architect with Mission Cloud. Been there for about 4 years, and like you guys, I am also an ex-AWS solution architect. So I did a tour in Greenfield and Enterprise. So yeah, been on the partner space for almost 4 years now, but I did about a 2-year tour at AWS myself.
So relevant, gentlemen. That like you've been on AWS on the inside. You're right now on two very interesting companies, CrowdStrike and Mission Cloud, and I think there's some news breaking that broke recently about Mission Cloud in general. If you want to start there, go ahead.
So we most of us at Mission found out on Monday we got acquired by CDW. So
wow,
congrats!
Thank you. So woke up to the news at 6 a.m. like a lot of my coworkers, and so yeah, here we are.
Fantastic.
So I've been hanging out over at the CDW booth, getting to know my new coworkers, and it's been exciting.
Things move quickly in this space, everybody, right? And
so yeah, we got separate booths this year, but I'm guessing next year might not be that.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, we're keeping it in the family, right? We have a close partnership with CDW, Mission Cloud, and now not a whole lot has changed in that regard.
That's such a common theme that we've actually been hearing in a lot of our shows so far is the cybersecurity community, right? It's like we are all here to drive that common good for our AWS customers, right, to deliver those outcomes, but it's not a single-threaded effort, right? We all have to work together in order to make sure that that our customers are safe and taken care of. So I think it's just another example of that happening, right?
And how do people make sure they're safe and taken care of? You know, this sounds like a simple question to ask, right? But in terms of our day-to-day jobs, working with folks like yourselves and many other companies around the world, the common questions come into, you know, I'm challenged with not enough people in an organization. You just heard, of course, the security skills gap is a topic which has been around for a while, and I have to say it's not going away, right? No. There's constant demand for more security individuals, but what are you two seeing there in terms of skills needed?
Yeah, it's really difficult hiring skilled security people. Certainly, cloud knowledgeable security people is even more difficult, and then retaining them and building a team large enough to handle more sophisticated capabilities like threat hunting and incident response. So, you know, to have a small team who's responding to all the events and doing the proactive threat hunting, it's really a lot for companies, especially given the fact that the attacks are more sophisticated, coming in fast and furious. So getting that additional help is going to be really important for companies.
I was going to say, help is available. Yeah, I know Mission Cloud over here is tightly involved with CrowdStrike, with us at AWS as well on that very, well, do I dare say that noble mission?
Right. Wow, there you go. Wow. Oh, before we go any further. We completely forgot because I almost said an acronym. The ding went off. So
what acronym?
Exactly. So if you say an acronym, you put a coin in the swear jar.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Solid gold.
Ryan is giving you a healthy stack of doubloons.
Only the best.
Okay.
So
you can't use it at the Venetian table? No.
You can try. Okay. Make sure you record it.
You might barter.
Stream it when you do.
Got it.
But along the cybersecurity skills gap that we've been seeing since forever, right? And is not getting any better. Generative AI is okay. We also pre-approved
We agree that's
AI.
like on the okay list. It's
generative AI, what role does that play in cybersecurity? Is it going to be the silver bullet that solves all of our problems with the cybersecurity skills gap? Is it going to make a dent? Is it going to be somewhere in the middle? I mean, what are you seeing in terms of generative AI's place in the cybersecurity skills gap?
So I would say that a focus really needs to be on AWS security best practices regardless, right? So I think when we work with a lot of our customers, we always try to fill that need first as like, let's do an audit. Let's look at the lay of the land inside your AWS accounts. How are you aligned with AWS security best practice? Where are the low-hanging fruit with your security configurations? And then kind of go from there, right?
And just low-hanging fruit meaning areas of like security posture increase. Obviously,
I would say things as simple as MFA, things as simple as managing credentials.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Boom. All right. So
That felt good.
Got him.
Okay, you got me. Okay, yeah, that's good. But yeah, I think just laying down a baseline of good security best practices, understanding AWS security best practices. We work with a lot of customers who are build fast, fix it later, right? And they, enable developers, enable application builders to just get things deployed, and then security kind of comes after things ramp up, and then now all of a sudden, hey, we got new areas of attack vectors and things that we need to consolidate around, and then that's where Mission sometimes comes in of like, hey, your apartment's a little messy, let's get this all cleaned up because you got people moving in and more customers coming in your platforms, and we want to make sure that you have end-to-end security and monitoring. And then, as far as the Gen AI goes, Rob's going to be able to talk way more about that because I'm sure CrowdStrike's doing a lot of things in that space, so I'll kind of pass that question to the vendor.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, I mean, look, we're tool using animals, and Gen AI is just kind of latest
advanced tool using animals.
Well, okay, it's certainly more sophisticated than a hammer. All
It's
right.
not a shiny stabby thing, or what?
You're not just picking up little like eggs and dropping from afar and watching them break. I hope not.
Look, the right tool for the right job, right? You're dealing with trillions of security events every day. You need help. You're not going to find a team of human beings large enough to sort through that stuff. So, the first part of that AI journey is sorting through all of that massive amount of information. And then even when you filter it down and you have indicators of attack and detections that you need to then go and investigate, you really need that additional assistance, and Gen AI provides that, right? If you ask the right questions, you can really accelerate the process of doing those investigations, figure out what to do next, or is this really a problem?
And maybe we can contrast and compare the old days of like a year ago and nowadays of, say, a security analyst looking through, say, a suspicious login attempt of 2 failed login attempts, 10 failed login attempts at one time. But that's the only bit of information that analysts got in an alert. What are they going to do next? They're going to go look for other things that user ID might have access to the same date timestamp, but that log file format's a different format. They don't know how to, they have to write like SQL query join unions to figure everything out. How is it in the new world?
Well, okay, so in that recent old world, which is still current for many people, you may have gone through all that filtering, but it's still kind of a needle in a haystack. So CrowdStrike, our Gen AI security assistant, Charlotte AI.
Charlotte AI?
Charlotte AI, yeah. All right. You can ask that question. You can say, what's happening here? Is this an attack? What do I investigate next? And you can get a jump on that investigation process and reduce your investigation time from hours, days, weeks down to seconds or minutes.
It's presented back to you in human, legible, natural language versus 17 columns in a spreadsheet. That
and actions, real actions that you can take. And back to the skills gap piece, right? You can have a smaller team, and again, with the right security tools, the right Gen AI, you can really expand the capabilities of a small team. And more important, if that team is not deeply experienced, then generative AI security analysts can really help gain that knowledge more quickly and shorten the learning curve.
let's go grab everyone and put them in front of these tools, right?
Yes, exactly.
4 million
100%.
jobs sounds like a lot of jobs, and it's going to be a lot. Instead of taking years and years of experience being in the trenches of security analysts, we just need people that are inquisitive enough to want to get in to the game, as we say,
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And are you seeing that like these AI prompts is going to be like kind of your bread and butter? Are we getting back to this like maybe, I'm going to say it, don't kill me, single pane of glass? Are we looking at like...
That's almost a Boolean.
Is that...
He said the
busted. But you can't, yeah, you know, it's more of like a synergistic feel.
Oh,
of,
gosh, she's got all the business
just make it rain.
buzzword bingo. I'll donate one for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, the Extendo Armo. You know, but are we seeing that the consolidation of security tooling for like our cybersecurity analyst or practitioner, is that tooling kind of consolidating with the help of generative AI? Is it stitching together, or do we still have like multiply disparate security controls out there?
You know, you got to start with the right foundation. If the data that you're training your AI on is all different schemas, you know, if you don't have the platform underneath that you can apply the generative AI to, you really haven't done a lot. So there's engineering that has to happen first to make it useful. But yeah, consolidation. You need to be able to correlate all of your cross-domain telemetry to make sense out of these kinds of sophisticated attacks that we were talking about.
Right.
What would you recommend folks do practically to make sure their, what do we call it, data foundations, in terms of security data foundations, are in place to make best use of AI capabilities?
Well, I know that AWS is taking some important steps with the move toward open cybersecurity schema framework.
Yes.
You got it.
Yes.
AKA, can I say AKA? Can I say it now?
Now it's free. It's
OCSF.
fair game. It's fair
For
game.
those of you who don't know what that stood for. Whew, that was a hard one.
It's a high-pressure media outlet here.
So Amazon Web Services, I can say AWS,
I think that's
and Amazon are adopting it.
If it's on a shirt, it's official.
Okay.
There you go.
You know, and that's helping customers. I have seen in a very short period of time widespread adoption of that schema.
And you feel that that's going to help accelerate? We were talking about like the challenge with AI, implementing AI in security is the different schema. So this is something that you think
it's definitely one
help
critical component. I
Okay.
mean, you know, there are multiple schemas, but if you can reduce that down so that, you know, at least that translation process or the ability to understand and do that conversion on the fly,
Right.
you know, anything that makes it easier is going to help here.
And along those same lines, you know, in the context of like, hey, here's where you start. This is a foundational security practice that will help you to grow. What are some of the other things that AWS customers can do to help grow like quickly at scale? Things are changing and happening so fast out there that customers, what worked a year ago may not work now. You might need something else. You might need something different. How do customers keep up with the pace of cybersecurity?
If you're not specialized in that area, it's so important and helpful to have specialized providers that this is our bread and butter. This is what we do all the time.
Right.
We remove that undifferentiated heavy lifting. So if your company is not in security, like why not bring in a professional? And you know, this is really where the partnership between between CrowdStrike and Mission Cloud comes into play. If you could talk a little bit about how you're helping customers.
Yeah, it's a great setup. So, I mean, we have a lot of customers who they don't have full-time security teams, or they have attrition and people have left, and you know, whatever security needs they need to address, they can come to a partner, and we can do a lot of the scaffolding and setting up all the Falcon Complete sensors. We also will provide a security operations center.
Nice.
Well done, Brian. Well done.
I'm trying to learn quick. Oh, you said it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so partners can really come in to really take over the setting up, management, and deployment of the the sensors and building out the telemetry and getting people acclimated to using a tool like CrowdStrike Falcon. And then we can also be the day-to-day guys in the chair, right, of keeping an eye on everyone's environments and reacting. And then so the customer doesn't necessarily have to be that deep in all of the security services. They don't have to understand all the we can set up guard duty for them. We can set up all the what are AWS security services on top with CrowdStrike, and then kind of provide that single pane of glass for customers. But they don't always necessarily have to be watching it. We can we can supplement and help them out with those journeys.
So you can kind of customize the help and care that a customer would need from you all.
Exactly. Yeah, we can take over the security heavy lifting, undifferentiated heavy lifting, as you guys like to say.
We love to say it. We love that word.
Yep. So that's our bread and butter. We have hundreds of customers in our managed services that we're doing that with. CrowdStrike's our main partner for our security telemetry and our security implementation. So yeah, it's a good match.
Something I've noticed, Brian, too, is that with Mission Cloud and some of the folks kind of in your space, you're really also helping to translate vocabulary terms and languages really between the business stakeholders at our mutual customer accounts who are just, as Brian has said earlier today, they're making spoons. That's their business.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
No, you're 100%. So AWS brings us a lot of customers who have serious security concerns. Either they've had bad actors, or they've had bad things happen in their AWS account, or they have new scrutiny on their AWS account. Maybe they have M&A'd, or they are trying to get new governances, and you know what I mean. So whatever their security needs start to shift drastically, and then they go to their AWS account teams and like, we need to do all the stuff with security, but we don't have the team, the budget, or whatever to just dive in on security, but we need stuff like quick. Then AWS brings us in, and then they find out like we can handle that stuff, but also we use best-in-class tooling with partners like CrowdStrike, and then we can kind of wave that magic wand in their accounts and like get their security up to where they need to be in a short amount of time.
Well, and the definition of where need to be, I feel like
that's different for everybody.
It's different. It's unique. We just had a previous partner on this show with Darktrace, and the definition of normal versus abnormal is very organization specific, and even application specific too, right? Like
just down to what services you consume.
What services you consume. So, but all this doesn't have to be as complex sounding as I'm making it. I just bring it to light that, again, if you're a company who's making spoons,
I love spoons.
And you're not a company who wakes up every single morning thinking about your security posture and going through your high security events. Help is available.
I have calls with customers. So I do a lot of pre-sale engineering. I get to meet customers and find out. Like I get to go under the hood and to find out what they're doing with security. And I'll meet customers and they're like, they've been in AWS for 6-7 years. I'm like, do you have CloudTrail turned on in your region? They're like, no. And I'm like, okay, let's start there. You know what I mean? So so it's like you said, they might be really great at making the spoons, but they don't necessarily understand AWS security best practices, and that's where where we can jump in.
But now here's where specialized partners come into play, right? You can get the customer where they need to be very quickly instead of, oh, does the team have time or do we have budget, right? Like you gotta solve that security problem as quickly as possible, because the attacker's not waiting for that.
So in the context of like assessing your risk as a customer out there, the time that it takes to actually put the security controls and improve your security posture is almost as important as what it is that you're deploying, right? And so working with a partner that does this day in, day out, knows what buttons to push and levers to pull, is going to help to accelerate the deployment of the solutions, lower your risk, and then get you to where you want to be. But also keeping in mind that there is no such thing as a perfect state in security, right?
I use an apartment analogy. Like we can come up, clean up your apartment. A month later, it might be dirty again. Like you know what I mean. So you can get all your security controls in place, but if it's not something you're actively maintaining and keeping in line with your processes, then like you said, it can backslide, right? So that's where partners can help. We can be the cleaning people that come in every month. You know what I mean?
Security hygienists. Here you go. Right available. Well, sorry, Rob, you're gonna say something?
Well, just to bring it full circle, generative AI. Specialized partners, these are ways to expand the reach and to shorten the security learning curve for
100%. Rob, CrowdStrike, Brian, Mission Cloud, thank you, gentlemen,
thanks
for
for
joining us.
Yeah, pleasure being here.
Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back with Vanta on Security Live.
Nice.